Bless our efforts to be good citizens, decision makers, protectors, and legislators. Give each of us in this room eyes to see the tasks that you have placed before us. Give us wisdom and strength to accomplish what you would have us do. Keep us from distractions and self-interest as we work and lead side by side with integrity and humility. Even if we disagree on means or ends, give us hearts to love each other as you love us. We pray this in Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen. We have the minutes from the Man, you guys are a high... Wow. I've done a clap for the prayer before. This is getting exciting. You guys are all making me nervous here. Better say everything right today. There's no minutes from the previous meeting. Communication correspondence, so we can go straight to this. There's a couple things while I've got everybody here and everybody's attention, because I don't know how long that's going to last. We have prayer breakfast on May the 3rd. That's always a really nice time. It's very early in the morning. What is it, 7? Man, it's 7 in the morning, and we always have a good crowd, and we're looking forward to a good crowd this year. We go through each of the different department heads and talk through different requests that they have, and it's always a nice time. We get most of the churches from the area are here, and it's always nice to. We're always grateful for their help and what they do for us. If you don't know, we have 3 or 4 pastors that have been in Portage, same church, for over 30-some years, which is very unique to any community, and we have one that's eclipsed the 40-year mark. So very grateful to them and for their support, and they pray for all of you at that meeting as well, and we're just grateful to them and look forward to the prayer breakfast. The second thing is the senior health fair, and Sue, do you want to talk a little bit about that, since this is what you put on and do such a wonderful job working on?
It's May 17th this year. It's usually the first Thursday in May, but we have moved it to the third Thursday, and we're very proud of our health fair. It's a very prestigious health fair. We have a lot of doctors that come in and people that monitor our seniors' health, and if you are a senior, we invite you to come out. It's totally free. Once the health fair is over at noon, we have a luncheon upstairs here for our seniors, and that is hosted by the Texas Roadhouse. So we'll look forward to seeing all of our seniors there.
Thank you. And then let's go ahead and get this started. Amanda, I'm going to need your help. So since we have the robotics team here so excited and ready to go, do you have a list? Okay. All right. So who's the coach? Who's in charge of this? Who's in charge of the robotics team? I'm right there. Come on up. Why don't you tell us a little bit? I'm going to grab this mic. Tell us a little bit, because it's kind of complicated, everything, isn't it? Well, that's what I just got from Miss Amanda.
Watch the cable.
Untuck it. Well, first of all, thank you for honoring us tonight to be here, and congratulations to all the other state champs. You guys are just absolutely outstanding. And so a little bit about the robotics program. It grew up from our Project Lead the Way curriculum that we had at school. A lot of Project Lead the Way students sitting over there. It is a game that we play, but it's not a game how we approach it. The kids, this is a year-long project-based learning activity. Vex Robotics sets out the World Challenge. We just received next year's World Challenge at the Worlds. We saw what that is. They use the engineering design process to approach this problem. They work so many hours after school, during school, weekends, giving up so much of their own time to work as a team to apply this problem-solving process to come up with these contraptions. And so they've documented their journey through these notebooks up here. We've had some success with, we had a state champion design notebook last year. As far as the game goes, it's like any other game. We want to outscore our opponents. There's an autonomous portion where the kids have programmed these to run all by themselves. It's a very delicate process. And then there's a driver control period where they're stacking and picking up these cones over here, and they'll get stacks all the way up to here, and it's based on a time limit. So I'm probably not doing the game justice, and they will do a much better job than I will. I guarantee that, because they're a fantastic bunch of kids. But
Coach, I have a couple of quick questions. What is the difference between a state excellence winner and a state champion?
Okay, very good. The state champion, over there, raise your hand, state champs. Those are our... a very, very talented veteran team, a lot of lessons there. They won the actual tournament, okay? Now, our middle school team, so you guys raise your hands over there, all right? They were the state runner-up to a very good team out of Indianapolis, but they were recognized with the state's Excellence Award. The Excellence Award is the highest honor that FEX bestows on any program. Based on their tournament play, their interview, their notebook, their skills, all the things they demonstrated that day, they were recognized as the top middle school program in the state.
Show us what these things do, because I shouldn't have said these things. Was that wrong? These robots do. I think everybody in the crowd's thinking with me on things.
Okay, your cord, my cord.
Oh, good, thanks. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
That crispy's awesome.
Guys, you can tell them a little bit about it.
Yeah, who's got a mic that can, who's the talker? Huh? Where's Josh? All right, Josh, there you go. Tell us what they do.
All right, so like Mr. Kappes was saying, we have a game
Talk right into the mic.
and this year's game, we have these rental robots that we have to pick up and stack these yellow cones on. So throughout the entire year, we face the challenge of how to actually build a robot, and we documented it in this notebook page. And so we just had the challenge of what we can do, what we have to do. We know what we had to do at the beginning of the year, and it's just figuring out what we have to do, how we can do it the best way possible. And by winning state, being the state champions, we were able to go to the world tournament. And we didn't play as well as we'd like to, but it was still a great experience and a good way to end our season. But overall, robotics is more than just playing a game. It's a lot of stuff to do all year round. We sacrifice a lot of our time. It's more than just building a robot. We get to meet people all throughout the world, and overall, it's just a great experience, and I recommend it to anyone.
Connor, would you explain the award down there?
Yeah, this one here.
So this award we just won over the past weekend at the World Competition, which was held in Louisville, Kentucky. This is the best and highest competition that you can go to. It consists of over 40 countries, and there's teams from all over the world. And there's over 1,500 teams competing at this one place. And this award right here we won, it's a community award. So basically we showed the judges at the competition that out of all the teams there, we were the most involved in promoting STEM education and involved in our community throughout fundraising and just engineering in general. And they honor us with this award right here. Awesome.
First of all, I'm hearing about kids all over the city wanting to join the robotics team now. So that's really a great thing. Mr. Milletta has a new employer here today that's looking for some really talented people. So you're seeing now what we've got, okay? So you're coming to the right place. You probably already knew that, but now you're finding that out even more. And we're really excited for you guys. Miss Amanda, why don't you, so what we're doing, why don't you bring me one of them for one of the robotics guys? So what these are, we started to give these to our state champions. Okay, so these are keys to the city, miniature keys, and they're actually made out of Corian, which is made in Portage at Montesol. So they're kind of a cool little thing that you guys will be able to keep forever. And we want to thank you for representing us and making us so proud. And this is a little token of our appreciation to you. So this is for Connor Edwards. Connor? Mice? Josh? Josh, sorry, I read fast. Okay, so this is Grant Kappas. Did I say it right? Good job. Okay, good. This is Trevor Young. Trevor's my friend. Trevor's my buddy. We run into each other everywhere, don't we, Trevor? Yeah, we got to know each other well over the years. Reese Fisher. Reese. Ilya? How do you say your last name, Ilya? Kira? Good job, Ilya. Watson. John Kappas. Nico Janice. Josh Mice. There you go. And then Peyton Bailey. Congratulations to you all. Let's go to the wall, get a quick picture, and get to the next thing. Hold on to your keys. I'm going to take my t-shirt. Trip on it. Yeah, watch that cable.
You know what?
Leave it like that.
I know, I'm just teasing. Hey, when I'm going to defend corporations and companies that's in our court. They hurt feelings, so well. They're in the wrong line of business.
I'm with you. I just gotta get you.
I was always told, get your name in the paper, whether if it's good or bad.
Yeah, this is tricky.
Everybody there? Mark's going to appoint a youth advisor tonight to the city council. So state law gives us a youth advisor. Of students to report back to us and offer suggestions about youth engagement in the city.
That's cool.
So he's going to be at all of our meetings and provide a report. But I completely forgot to tell everyone.
All right,
well, that seems to be happening more.
Yeah. So yeah, I completely forgot to send out the email that Mark was going to appoint him tonight. So he's here, and you'll get to meet him later.
All right. Robotic team, I need your help here. We're going to do this team next. We should be able to get through this council meeting quickly to get other pictures. We shouldn't be that long. All right? Start singing. Scare you off. So, hang on a second. I'm going to get everybody here.
I think actually,
Debbie, I'd like you to tell us a little bit about what it takes and how much work. I can't imagine what it takes to be bowling state champions, because throughout the season, I kept getting these people on my Facebook. You know, they're always on my Facebook for some reason, and they're like, "The bowling team won this week. How come you haven't posted them?" And that was probably parents. No, I need to know. So it's hard to keep up with all you guys. They're everywhere. And so then it kept getting, I remember they're going to quarterfinals. Then they're going to sectional. And it just keeps going and going and going until the time it was state champ. So it's very exciting. But tell us a little bit about your season and what it takes to become a state champ. It's bowling.
Hi, George. It takes a lot of dedication and hard work, and they put in the time. All of these girls average between 180 and 200. A lot of people don't know this, but girls and boys do go on to college and bowl. We have an export student she graduated 2 years ago, who's actually bowling for the University of Maryland Eastern Shore.
Wow.
We have a couple of bowlers who bowled for Calumet College.
Okay.
But we practice every week. We have meets every week. We were winning the conference until Michigan City kind of slipped up on us last week. So we had revenge on it.
There we go.
We won regionals. We won semi-state. We come down to the state finals. We were seeded third. I don't even know who we beat, but these girls went out and shot a 250 game. And it's Baker's games, which the first bowler bowls the first frame and the sixth frame, the second bowler bowls the second and the seventh, the third and the eighth, and so on. So it's a lot of teamwork.
Yes. Wow.
And we beat the first team, and it came down to Michigan City. And we beat them the first game by 18 pins. They beat us the second game by 5, but it went by total pins. So we beat them by 13 pins.
I did a tour of Vincennes College a few years ago, and they're the only school in the country, the only college that does bowling management.
Right.
They actually have a bowling alley on the campus, and it was just something, one of those factoids. You never know unless you saw it.
All of your schools, women's teams now have NCAA.
Okay.
All of those colleges have a bowling alley on campus.
That's neat. Well, we're really proud of you guys. Thank you for representing us so well. Thank you for being Michigan City. You came in third in the individuals. So is there how do they? So is it just the best bowlers? They just go and bowl? Is there age groups?
No, you have to beat everybody all the way through the steps. And out of, I don't know, 200, 300, 400 girls in the state, she came in third.
All right, let's do So I have Mackenzie.
She's softball.
So, yeah, this was a tough day. There were a lot of people going. Michaela, congratulations. Thank you for all the time you put in. Good for her. Julie. Lauren. Courtney. Let's get a picture over here real quick. Make sure you watch that cord when you go through.
Thank you.
Good job, girls.
Yeah.
You took them with him. Dale. Sue's been saying that from Dale? Yeah. She was football player. She played football.
Up to high school.
Yeah.
Then I started chasing girls, smoking joints, drinking beers.
In that order.
In that order?
Yeah, that order.
Going to the street.
All right. right, now I need my wrestlers up here real quick. And wrestlers, all wrestlers. Come on, Kaylee, get up here too. We don't get our high school principal here very often. And man, this guy's got a great job. Does a good job for us. And I'll tell you what, Portage should be very proud to have this guy as our high school principal. Give him a round of applause.
We had a great year wrestling. We were dueling athletic conference champions. We were sectional champions. We were regional champions. We were semi-state champions. And you guys fourth? And they were fourth in state. They set high goals. They didn't quite make them. But we had 2 state champions. Chris Rumpf. Brand. Billy Adams is also state champion. Casper McIntosh was 6th. And DJ Washington was 5th. Then they went on to nationals. And Jacob Moran won his national event, and Casper McIntosh also was national champion. And DJ was 2nd in national. Very proud of these guys because little would you know that they are also scholars. And they work hard, and it's kind of tough sometimes when you have wrestling practice and you gotta go home and study and you're tired. But these guys and girls did a great job this year.
Stands out amongst our boys and other groups is at the end when a kid wins the state championship. Most of you and a lot of you in this room, except the bowling parents and robotic parents, may have been watching, and they would put these guys up on national TV. They were on Fox, and our boys were humble, they were kind, they were gentle, and they win the state champion. You know, they were mean on the mat. They were what you expected them to be on the mat. I mean, you watch. I've gotten to grow up watching wrestling, and you watch our guys take the mat, and the minute they hit the field, the other wrestler knows they're up against a Portage wrestler. They get shaken, they get moved, you guys know exactly, they set the stage every match. I believe we probably would have had a really good shot at states. We had a couple guys go down early with injuries, right? The very first match within the first period. So it was really tough to watch that. Our guys, but let me explain something to you. Portage, our robotics team, our bowlers, our wrestlers, people know who we are. They know we're hardworking. They know we're kind. They know we're tough. They know we don't ever stop. We don't ever quit. These guys never quit. Then we've got Kaylee hitting the mat. I've watched a couple of her matches, and oh man, watch out for Kaylee. Softball field. I think we feed all of our softball girls nails in the morning because if you go to the softball field starting now, they literally will be there till midnight with their parents practicing, and we just have a great community, great work ethic, great hard work. We just, when we're down on the mat, we get back up and we keep fighting. And I love these guys. I love all of you. What a great testament you were to our community. Thank you so much. Let's get these guys their keys. Casper, good job. Jacob. He looks so innocent. He does. says. You should see him on the map. It's not innocent when you see that. Kaylee's our first girl state champion. All right. Donnell came all the way here from Illinois to learn to become sport. And then we've got Christian Rumpf. Good job, Christian. He didn't make it, but if it comes, we'll stop. We also have Coach of the Year this year, and just an amazing person, a Portage High School grad, former state champ, Leroy Vega, our coach. We also have something for him who was Coach of the Year. We should give him a round of applause. Give him a round of applause. We had youth government today. We do it in March, but they got to do the boat ride, or we normally do it in April, but they got to do it on the fireboat and had a great time. But I've got a proclamation to read. I'll do it quick. Normally, I've never read one of these. It's normally been the kid sitting next to me. City of Portage, Office of the Mayor Proclamation. To all to whom these presents may come, greetings. Whereas the City of Portage and Portage High School has celebrated Youth Government Day every year since 1969, and whereas 11 Portage High School students were duly elected by their peers to serve in the capacity of the City of Portage administrators for a day, and whereas duly elected by their peers Mayor Jimmy Craven and Clerk Treasurer Andrea Vance will serve in these, Emma Garzella will serve in these capacities for this day. And whereas duly appointed by their peers, Chief of Police Riley Damian and Fire Chief Drake Guerrero will also serve in these positions for this day. Therefore, be it resolved that I, James E. Snyder, Mayor of the City of Portage, Indiana, do hereby proclaim May 1st, year 2018 as Youth Government Day, and urge the City of Portage Council members, Portage High School peers, parents, and family members to recognize these fine, outstanding young ladies and gentlemen in participating in Youth Government Day. In testimony whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused to be affixed a great seal of the City of Portage at the Office of Mayor in the State of Indiana of this first day of May.
To IC 36-9-23-4. B. The board shall consist of 3 members. 2 members shall be appointed by the Common Council. One of the members appointed by the Common Council must be a registered professional engineer. The mayor shall serve as a member of the board and its chairperson. C. Each member shall serve a term of 3 years, except that one of the initial members shall serve a term of 2 years and then 3-year terms thereafter. D. Members shall serve without compensation except reimbursement for necessary expenses incurred by the member in the performance of official duties. E. Each member of the board shall execute a bond in the amount of $15,000 for faithful discharge of all duties as a member of the sanitary board. Each bond shall be made payable to the state of Indiana. The treasurer of the sanitary board shall execute a bond and an amount equal to the amount required for the bond required of the clerk treasurer and made payable to the state of Indiana. If the treasurer of the sanitary board is the clerk treasurer need not execute a separate bond from the bond already required of that office. Transition from utility board. And I think this is an important section. The municipal sewage works is currently managed by the Utility Service Board pursuant to 82-41 of the Municipal Code of the City of Portage. It is contemplated by the mayor and common council that management of the sewage works may be transferred from the Utility Service Board to the Sanitary Board established under 45 of this division. Any such transfer shall occur pursuant to a separate ordinance passed and adopted by the Common Council until such time as the Common Council may adopt an ordinance transferring management of the sewage works from the Utility Service Board to the Sanitary Board. The Utility Service Board shall retain exclusive custody, control, and management of the municipal sewage works. Let it be known that this ordinance has been read in its entirety.
Motion to suspend. We have a motion and a second to suspend. All, please call the roll.
Councilperson Modesto?
Yes.
Councilperson Clem?
Yes.
Councilperson Williams?
Yes.
Councilperson Cannon?
Yes.
Councilperson Zilli?
Yes.
Councilperson Lynch?
Yes.
Councilperson Aprisco?
Yes.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt. Please call the roll.
Councilperson Clem?
Yes.
Councilperson Williams?
Yes.
Councilperson Cannon?
Yes.
Councilperson Zilli?
Yes.
Councilperson Lynch?
Yes.
Councilperson Aprisco?
Yes.
Councilperson Modesto?
Yes.
Establishment of a stormwater management board.
An ordinance of the City of Portage, Indiana, establishing the Department of Stormwater Management. Be it and it is hereby ordained by the Common Council of the City of Portage, Indiana, as follows. Section 1, ordinance amendments, sections 82-301 through 82-308 of Article 3, Stormwater Utility of Chapter 82, Utilities. The municipal code of the City of Portage, Indiana, shall be recodified as a new Division 1, entitled General. Section 2, ordinance addition, a new Division 2 entitled Board of Directors shall be added to Chapter 82, Article 3 entitled Stormwater Utility of the Municipal Code of the City of Portage, Indiana, to read as follows. Let the record show that this was read in full.
Motion to suspend.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend. Please call the roll.
Councilperson Williams?
Yes.
Councilperson Cannon?
Yes.
Councilperson Zilli?
Yes.
Councilperson Lynch?
Yes.
Councilperson Aprisco?
Yes.
Councilperson Modesto?
Yes.
Councilperson Clem?
Yes.
Motion to adopt.
We have a motion and a second to adopt. Please call the roll.
Councilperson Cannon?
Yes.
Councilperson Zilli?
Yes.
Councilperson Lynch?
Yes.
Councilperson Aprisco?
Yes.
Councilperson Modesto?
Yes.
Councilperson Clem?
Yes.
Councilperson Williams?
Yes.
Stormwater impervious surface fee amendment.
Ordinance 18 an ordinance of the City of Portage, Porter County, Indiana, amending Chapters 70 and 82 of the Municipal Code of the City of Portage. Be it and it is hereby ordained by the Common Council of the City of Portage, Indiana, as follows. Section 1, ordinance amendment, Section 82-302 of Chapter 82 of the City of Portage Municipal Code shall be amended by adding the following to the end of the existing text. In calculating the ERU for a particular parcel, only 1/3 of the square footage calculation for compacted gravel shall be included. Section 2, ordinance amendment, Section 82-305 of Chapter 82 of the City of Portage Municipal Code should be amended by the addition of a new subsection E to read as follows. E, each customer that prepays the entire amount owed under this article for the current year on or before January 31st of that year shall be entitled to a discount of 10% of the total amount. But let the record show that this was read in full.
Motion to suspend.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend. Please call the roll.
Councilperson Zilli?
Yes.
Councilperson Lynch?
Yes.
Councilperson Aprisco?
Yes.
Councilperson Modesto?
Yes.
Councilperson Clem?
Yes.
Councilperson Williams?
Yes.
Councilperson Cannon?
No.
We have the second reading of the extension of the Marina Shores Economic Development Area.
Can I ask a question? Just on that last one?
Whoa.
Just on that last ordinance, did Did Mr. Cannon vote no?
Yes, he voted no.
Just curious, we met earlier today with the USB, and what the board was looking at in the city council is we've had several businesses in the city of Portage claiming that their new fees were too high. What the board had done previously and what the city council was trying to do is trying to amend the cost and make them less for the business owners. So for the business owners out there this evening, you're going to have to wait a month because the May billing, correct, is.
Yeah, we would need to know something by tomorrow to get it on the May bill. Yeah.
Okay.
48 hours.
So I just wanted to let the people know out there, the business owners in the city of Portage, you're going to have to wait another month to see a decrease in your fees because we couldn't pass this tonight.
Second reading, extension of the Marina Shores Economic Development Area.
Is it a first reading or a second reading?
Second reading.
Second.
In ordinance number 18, an ordinance extending the time period of an economic development target area. Whereas on November 1st of 2016, the Common Council adopted ordinance 16-13, which established an economic development target area for the area indicated on Exhibit A. Whereas said economic development target area was set to expire 18 months after the adoption of ordinance 16-13. Whereas the Common Council finds a need for the continuation of the economic development target area to encourage development and redevelopment. Therefore, be it is hereby ordained by the Common Council of the City of Portage, Indiana as follows. Section 1, Economic Development Target Area, Expiration Extension. The Economic Development Target Area created by Ordinance 16-13 is hereby extended to expire on April 30, 2019. Let the record show that this was read in full. Motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion to adopt and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilperson Lynch?
No.
Councilperson Prisco?
Yes.
Councilperson Modesto?
Yes.
Councilperson Clem?
Yes.
Councilperson Williams?
Yes.
Councilperson Cannon?
Yes.
Councilperson Zilli?
No.
Motion carries. Introduction of resolutions. We have the property tax abatements for Marina Shores, lots 28, lot 59, lot 65, lot 77.
I'll make a motion to approve those.
We have a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilperson Prisco?
Yes.
Councilperson Modesto?
Yes.
Councilperson Clem?
Yes.
Councilperson Williams?
Yes.
Councilperson Cannon?
Yes.
Councilperson Zilli?
No.
Councilperson Lynch?
No.
Is anybody thoroughly confused about everything that just happened? That was a lot of business that took place in that 10-minute period of time. The P&G, this is great news. We have the P&G property tax abatement, Mr. Mileta and Mr. Jones. That make it easy on us, Mr. Jones. Thank you. Man, the last guy that was here, there was no way we could pronounce his last name. Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Mileta.
Mr. Jones is here. He represents P&G Group, which is Calco. They're a minority woman-owned business looking to locate in Portage. After a search, they chose Portage as a place to locate their business. They plan on installing 8 assembly lines, looking at employment of between 160 to 200 new jobs will be created by them locating here in Portage. I did send you all an email with some information on the company. Mr. Scott Jones is here to answer any questions you may have. I also gave you an update today just to give you, I know there was some little bit of confusion. They originally were looking at the Midpoint building in Ameriplex, and then suddenly the Coca-Cola building, which we know was just vacated, came up for sale. They switched gears real quick, and we're looking to move into that Coca-Cola building, and at the last hour after in their negotiations, somebody else came in and outbid them on that building, so they went back now to Ameriplex, and we're working today to finalize their agreements back with the Midpoint building in Ameriplex. I did speak with Matt Good from Venture One this afternoon just to make sure how that negotiation is going, and he confirmed yes, they're working on their agreement as we speak. So they're here today to ask for a 5-year personal property tax abatement for the approximately $8.8 million worth of equipment they'll be bringing in and installing. They're kind of anxious. As Scott can tell you, they received a contract. They manufacture metal frames for car seats, and they received a contract, so they're anxious to get in and start bringing that equipment in and begin their hiring process. So I'll let Mr. Jones here to answer any questions you may have.
I have one question.
Go ahead.
Is this all new all brand new equipment that's gonna be installed?
They will be all brand new equipment.
We're excited. We're glad to have you. How many employees did you say again?
Between 160 and 200.
160, 200. That's fantastic. What kind of wages are you going to pay? What kind of wages are you going to pay?
We're going to be on an average of $70 an hour.
One of our council's recommendations is that you hire Portage residents, you give them a shot at these jobs first.
I am very keen on hiring local talent first.
Veterans also.
Veterans, men and women alike?
Yes.
He just saw those robotic things. He's gonna be asking these kids if they want to come to work.
He's like, very proud to make sure he knows where his future engineers are coming from.
I have one more question, if you don't mind.
He's going to go home this evening and try to do his own kind of.
No, I'm gonna try to make my own thing. Be a marshal.
Then I'll see him at a bowling alley.
Bowling alley a little bit later. I have to have those gutter things in my things to keep me from getting gutter balls.
I just don't want to see you tight.
I have one more question for Joe.
Whereas the Portage Common Council wishes to encourage and foster economic development within the city of Portage, and whereas the Portage Common Council adopted resolutions 84-3 and 87-5 in both cases, evidencing its desire to allow tax abatement benefits to a community of businesses located within a previously designated economic revitalization area. And whereas the P&G Group has put in its statements of benefits dated 4/25/18 to the Common Council, therefore the Common Council finds that 1, the estimate of the cost of the new manufacturing equipment is reasonable for equipment of that type. 2, the estimate of the number of individuals who will be employed or whose employment will be retained can reasonably be expected to result from the installation of new manufacturing equipment. 3, the estimate of annual salaries of those individuals who will be employed, whose employment will be retained, can reasonably be expected to result from the proposed installation of new manufacturing equipment. Item 4, other benefits about which information was requested are benefits which could be reasonably be expected to result from the proposed installation of new manufacturing equipment. Number 5, the totality of benefits to be derived from the proposed installation of new manufacturing equipment is sufficient to justify the deduction sought by the applicant. The Portage Common Council therefore concludes that the statement of benefits by P&G Group to the Portage Common Council should be and is hereby approved as follows. Manufacturing and logistical equipment listed in statement of benefits is approved for tax abatement for a period of 5 years at the following deduction schedule: year 1, 100%, year 2, 80%, year 3, 60%, year 4, 40%, year 5, 20%, year 6, you're out of luck, 0%. Resolved that a tax abatement fee in the amount specified in section 30-6 of the City of Portage Municipal Code shall be paid by the property owner during each year in which the property owner's property tax liability is reduced by the tax abatement approved herein. Be it is further resolved that the tax abatement granted by this resolution is conditioned upon the property owner consenting to the imposition of the tax abatement fee. Passed and adopted by the Common Council of the City of Portage, Porter County, Indiana, on its first day of May 2018. Motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second.
I have one more question, please.
Hang on 1 second. I had like several people second.
Second.
Colin.
All right. He gave it to Colin. Well,
I gotta pick someone.
you all yelled at one time.
I got you up here a lot of places. Don't worry.
All right, Mr. Clem.
Another big concern of mine is that you'll use local tradesmen unions for all the installation of your equipment and local around Northwest Indiana, not from Ohio or all local spent.
Yes.
Okay.
Welcome
Thank
to the
you.
City of
Hang on,
Portage.
we haven't voted yet. We haven't even voted yet.
Make sure.
Please call the roll.
I think you're back to Liz. I think we're back around. Councilperson Modesto.
Yes.
Councilperson Clem.
Yes.
Councilperson Williams.
Yes.
Councilperson Cannon.
Yes.
Councilperson Zilli.
Yes.
Councilperson Lynch.
Yes.
Councilperson Briscoe.
Yes. Welcome to the City of Portage. Company come here with the amount of jobs you're doing, and if you were here earlier Portage, and I'll tell you what, it's going to be a great thing with your company.
Mr. Millet,
Yeah, I just want to thank the council for granting. This is a big win for Portage, and again, it speaks to Portage is the best place to bring your company and to grow your company.
That's right.
And we're going to keep proving that over and over again. So thank you again, and welcome, council.
Did you guys, this is all women that own this facility?
It's actually Indian descent.
Okay, okay.
Mr. Millet, I have a couple things I wanted to ask you.
Mr. Jones, thanks, we're through with you.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Just for everybody, we went through that really boring period. I don't know if you caught what Mr. Miletta said earlier. The Coke facility came available less than a month, maybe 2 months ago, and so many people were trying to get it that it's literally got bid out from under people, and of course the people who ended up getting it think they paid too much for it, but we think they didn't pay enough, but can't wait to see what that final sales price is. But the point is that people are literally competing to be here. It's a real, we're struggling with space. We need more buildings to go up, like Coke or other places, so that we can fill them. But the other thing is we got a press release and announcement from the Promenade on the first restaurant. So why don't you go ahead and talk about that real quick?
So exciting news. Everybody's been watching that project go on. The first restaurant agreement was signed, the lease was signed. It is called Big Time Burgers and Brews. If you've been to Gastro 49 in Chesterton, Rolly Martinez, it's his group is coming here and bringing another version of what they've got in Chesterton. So if you've ever been there, it's a great place, great food, good atmosphere. So we're really looking forward to that, and it's exciting because the interest, again, in that facility from our retailers and restaurants has been really high. So
good.
As it nears completion, I think you'll start hearing more announcements of that space being filled up pretty quickly.
All right. Good
Public hearing for additional appropriation number 1. Additional appropriation number 1. Do you want to read that so I can have the public hearing?
Whereas it has been determined that it's now necessary to appropriate more money than was originally appropriated in the annual budget. Now therefore, section 1 be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Portage, Porter County, Indiana, that for the expenses of said municipal corporation, the following additional sums of money are hereby appropriated in order to set apart out of the several funds or fund herein named for the purposes herein specified, subject to the laws governing same. CCL Property Damage Fund Appropriation Number 213-430-348. Appropriation Title CLPD Claims Total 300 Series Increase Amount $150,000. Passed and adopted by the Common Council, City of Portage, Porter County, Indiana, this first day of May 2018. Motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion. Hang on a second. I got to hold the public hearing first, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, is there anybody here to speak in favor of this appropriation? Is there anybody here to speak against this appropriation? You all know exactly what it's about, so you're ready to come tackle us. The motion is, or the hearing is closed. We have a motion to adopt in a second. Please call the roll.
Councilperson Clem?
Yes.
Councilperson Williams?
Yes.
Councilperson Cannon?
Yes.
Councilperson Zilli?
Yes.
Councilperson Lynch?
Yes.
Councilperson Frisco?
Yes.
Councilperson Modesta?
Yes.
Under, we have unfinished business, new business, notice that.
Actually,
We have
there's a
a
resolution, it didn't get put on the agenda.
It wasn't put on the agenda, but was placed in there.
Oh, yes.
The north and south county, radio, the frequency.
Oh, okay.
Colin,
Sure.
take that.
Resolution number 18-, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Portage, Indiana, in support of a north-south 2-frequency emergency dispatch operation for Porter County, whereas it has been proposed to move Porter County emergency dispatching to 1 frequency for all police operations in Porter County, and whereas the Common Council has serious reservations about such a move as it may prove to be a danger to public safety for both emergency responders and the public, and whereas a move to 1 frequency would inevitably lead to non-priority calls being dispatched over the MDT mobile data terminal, causing confusion amongst police supervisors and officers, and cause officers to use their computers more than is necessary, creating a dangerous situation.
And whereas this change would require the retraining of hundreds of law enforcement officers in Porter County, and whereas one frequency would result in diminished response times due to the dispatching of calls via a predetermined priority level, and having multiple jurisdictions utilizing one frequency inherently delays response times to every community, and whereas one frequency would require supervisors and officers to switch between two channels for dispatching of calls and routine radio traffic, and whereas one frequency could result in a reduction in self-initiated activity by patrol officers who are unable to secure airtime or are concerned that they will interfere with airtime needed in another jurisdiction, and whereas one frequency may cause confusion for responding officers in different jurisdictions who share unit numbers. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Portage, Indiana, the following. 1, we respectfully request that Porter County not initiate a one frequency protocol for emergency response dispatching. 2, we believe the creation of a north-south 2 frequency system is a more appropriate alternative to protect the safety of emergency responders in Porter County. Let the record reflect this has been read in full. Motion to adopt.
We have a motion and a second to adopt. Chief Williams, you want to get up here and explain the work that you've been doing on this? By the way, fabulous work on it, because I think he's gotten everybody to put the brakes on what they were getting ready to do in this resolution.
You did.
Good evening. How are we doing tonight? Good. A lot of good stuff going on here. I'll be brief. So I think our initial concern when this came out is how it came out and what was initially proposed. Was not a lot of discussion. That being said, I do want to state that I am encouraged with some of the conversations I've had with some of the county elected officials. So we wanted to make sure we were doing our homework and our research, and we have done a ton of it. It was initially proposed, it was for North and the South Channel, and I think that's what we believe works best. I know I've talked to many of you. We will meet with anybody that wants to meet and show them the stuff that we have put together. But we believe that this is what we need for our city and our offices.
When Chief Williams went over this with me when it first started, it was kind of shocking that we were having to deal with it. And he just did a very good job maintaining his composure and representing both the police and fire. Chief Pfeiffer, where's Chief Pfeiffer? He as well. Both of them worked well together on this. Chief Williams kind of spearheaded it to kind of keep everything calm. And I think he deserves a lot of recognition for how he handled this. And we're always proud of him for what he does, but this was a really good work. And thank you, Council, for I haven't passed it yet. We have a motion to adopt in a second. Why don't we call the roll real quick? Go ahead. Or all in favor, say aye.
There you go.
Aye. All opposed? All right. Good job, Chief Williams. Thank you. Councilperson Cannon just noted that there's a CF1 form for Radnor Steel that didn't make it onto the agenda as well. Do we have a motion?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt Radnor Steel CF1. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Is there any other business that needs to be brought before the board?
There's a report, I believe, Chris, that you put in here for the RDC.
Yeah, the RDC is required to give you an annual report, so that is in your Dropbox. So you've received it.
If the board would like, I didn't come prepared for that today, and I can have Colin go over it and update it next year, or next month. I'd love to do it next month, if you guys don't mind.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I just seen it on the agenda.
Colin, can you be ready for next? Okay, thank you. Colin is our RDC director and the guy that kind of runs the ship.
So I have something to add.
Sure.
And Chris have worked very hard with the schools today. And of course, the city has worked diligently. It's really great to know the students here and the teachers, the principal, Max Gilden. For the past 7 months, 8 months, Colin and Chris has worked diligently with the Portage Township schools. And they've done a magnitude of things to save money on the city end as well as the school end. It's really been a great move. And I can't say enough about the hard work that these two gentlemen have put in. Over this period of time, the last month or so, Colin, and I'll let you speak on what you guys did.
Sure. So in just researching different things that the city can do, we found that the city council has the ability, the council president does, to appoint a youth advisor to the city council. So the schools have recommended a student for Mark to appoint as council president as our youth advisor. This student is going to lead a committee at the schools that they're forming students of diverse backgrounds that can make recommendations to the city about different youth engagement activities, different things that we can do as a city to support youth. And he'll be attending our meetings to update us each month about what that committee's doing, what recommendations they think they need to make to us. Chris and I met with the student and Ms. Porter Phillips from the schools last week, 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago. To discuss this. And the direction that Chris and I both gave was, tell us what you want the committee to do. We don't want to direct it. We want it to be youth-led and supported by the schools. So Mark has the biography for the student.
Very well said. Yeah, I have it here. Simon Curls. Would you stand up, please? A handsome young man in the red shirt. And is currently in the 10th grade at Portage High School. Living in Portage his whole life in the same house with the same people has shaped his persona, thus making him the person he is. This supportive environment has facilitated him in never shying away a challenge, obstacle, or being a part of something great. When Simon was younger, he was involved in as many different groups as possible. He anticipated in community sports programs, choir, drama club, creative writing, and even school events. Although these things were fun and great learning experiences, being a part of so many diverse groups actually served a greater purpose. Simon loved being a part of something bigger than himself, the opportunity to help and to encourage others to grow or better themselves. You see, through all these extracurricular activities, he had built an empire of healthy, supportive relationships with wonderful people. From teachers to coaches, even random Portage citizens influenced and taught him to have empathy and to offer a helping hand to those who seem to be struggling or hurt. No one should ever have to suffer. When Simon observes someone or in need, it's his nature to assist. He understands the struggle and the pain that goes hand in hand with life. He loves people more than he loves himself, it seems. The desire to help others has been both a blessing and a curse, but it has driven Simon here this evening. He's very creative, shows a lot of caring about people. He lives with Simon and drives him to strive for a better Portage and to be part of this great city of Portage and the schools. He's a great citizen. Thank you very much. Sandy Porter, you want to stand up? I know your name was mentioned, and you do a great job at Portage School working with the youth there. And I'll tell you what, come on up and say a few words. And thank you for being part of
the mic right there.
Yep. Simon, thank you for being here tonight and for taking this on. For taking on this task. It's absolutely great, because if you could involve all your students at your schools and bring them up to a level where they can be a part of the city, bring your needs to us, teach us, because you are the youth. I mean, eventually I'm going to be off this board, and a lot of us are going to be gone, and it's up to you, young people, to take it and move us forward in the city of Portage and the school district. So go ahead, sir.
Well, first off, I'd like to say this is really scary from this side, instead of sitting down. But I just felt like I needed to do this, not just for me, but for the people around me, just because, like, I don't know, I feel like I have a bigger purpose in the world, and I just want to fulfill that. And that's a part, and something I could do to start this right here, the youth advisory. And I feel like it could be the start of something way bigger with myself and for the community.
We're looking forward to having you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you. See you. I'd just like to thank again Chris, Simon, and Colin. Colin, do you want to say a couple words?
Yeah, I mean, we're excited to see what the students put together. They're going to be leading this engagement committee. I don't even know what they're calling it at this point. I know they're putting it together in the next few weeks, and hopefully they'll be bringing stuff to us monthly to update us and see what we can do to help them. So
that's awesome.
Well, I'll make a motion to that effect. Do I need to make a motion to secure this and he's our guy?
Appoint him.
I'll make a motion to appoint Simon.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to appoint Simon. What's your last name again, Simon?
Quiros.
Say it. Quiros. We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Welcome aboard, Simon. Appointments as well to the Stormwater Board. It's going to be Dominic Bonta and Patrick Newell. Sorry, couldn't remember the second one.
You have 3 appointments.
And James Snyder. Sorry, that's why I didn't say the third one.
Then I have the sanitary board.
Yep. Yes.
Higgins, I'll put Adam on there, Adam Higgins and Mel Gore. Good. And then I'll put the mayor on there also.
Adam Higgins and Mel Gore need to be voted on.
Yes.
Do we have a motion?
And I'll make a motion to approve.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
And then under reception of remonstrances, public input, or any other business, this is where we allow the public to come up here and speak. If there's anybody that has something to say, they can.
We have some recommendations coming from the utility board. Don't we have to pass those? With ordinance?
The 10% for the senior citizens?
Well, we didn't pass it.
Yeah, that's one first thing, yeah.
Sorry, you dealt with it.
Yeah, that's first thing, yeah.
I like to make an
Busy
amendment.
day.
I'd like to make an amendment to one of our ordinances that gives senior citizens a $3 a month discount for trash pickup. I'd like to change that and make that a 10% across the board for all the senior citizens.
Ordinance number on that. Can we wait till next month and do them both?
Yeah, can we put the, I'm not opposed to it.
We're gonna have to have a meeting this month, another meeting. Correct, Attorney Elwood?
I wanna make that a
We're
motion
gonna have
right
to have
now.
another meeting now since.
If we make the appointment.
Okay.
Oh, to pass the.
10% discount for all senior citizens?
I can draft an ordinance.
I think we can get an ordinance together and we can go through the proper.
We just added
all the 3.
All right, now it's public input.
We can just at the next meeting, whenever that is.
Pastor Cooper, come on up.
Mr. Mayor, my concern this evening is in regards to a job posting by the Portage Police Department for a part-time clerk position that was posted on April 23rd, 2018. Applications due May 7th of this month. The first requirement listed on the posting is that the person be a U.S. citizen. The U.S. Citizen and Immigration Services state that employers may not, quote, limit jobs to U.S. citizens unless U.S. citizenship is required by law or government contract. Mr. Mayor, by what law are you limiting this part-time clerk position to a U.S. citizen?
Thank you. We'll look into it and get back with you. I didn't know there was a job posting, so we'll get back with you. Thank you. Is there anybody else?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Beto.
Is that not working?
My name is Beto Barrera. I'm at 2961 on Fern Street in the city of Portage. I just wanted to get a status of a commitment that Mr. Mayor, you made on the meeting of February when there were some folks here, especially Pastor Sims was here to complain about some discrimination from the city when you would try to purchase a property here in Portage. And you mentioned that you were going to be working on the recognition of Martin Luther King's birthday for the city of Portage. And I was wondering where we're at with that.
There's two things. I can declare it a holiday, and I have. And the other thing is we can have an ordinance brought before the council, and that will take place. So we can do both. I already have declared it a holiday.
So you have already spoken with the council on that?
I don't have to speak with the council. By executive order, I can declare Martin Luther King holiday a holiday, and I did it at the meeting, and I've done it since then in writing.
Can you officially recognize it already, or you planning to soon?
I officially recognized it at the council meeting that you attended.
Oh, Oh, you recognize that?
Yes.
I thought it was some type of official, maybe, to take,
So I already.
day off. Who would like to have a day off from school?
I can't do anything for the schools. That's a totally different, it's my employees. It's a holiday for the city of Portage employees and a city that.
I was expecting some kind of, I don't know, a flag, a resolution or something.
I don't, okay. I told you I did, and I'm really excited about it. And next year we'll get to recognize it and make a big deal about it. It was after Martin Luther King Day that we even discussed it.
It was actually on Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah, it was on Martin Luther King Day that we declared it a holiday.
Okay, so I know you mentioned holiday, but
I think you're asking for, I think you're trying to get me to say more. There's nothing more to say other than I've done what I've said I was going to do, and I think you're trying to get me to, trying to back us into a corner, and I'm not being backed into a corner. We did exactly, hey, I'm talking. We did exactly what we said we were going to do. We've recognized the day. It's very exciting, and it doesn't need to be put down. It's an exciting thing that we did that.
Okay, we recognize it, and a recognition.
What do you want us to do?
I don't know, I'm asking
Okay.
you.
I told you that we've recognized it. Sir,
Also do something productive where,
Sir, Martin Luther King holiday has been celebrated throughout this country, all over the place,
yes,
and wasn't in Portage until I brought it up at the council meeting to celebrate it. So we're really excited to get to do it, and we're going to continue to do it every year. We're going to have, it's going to be an exciting time. He's done so much for this country.
We're going to be doing some type of special event during the day.
I don't know yet. It's next year. So we're not there yet. You want me to plan next year? We're not there yet. We're still working on where we're going to put the 4th of July fireworks this year. So we'll get there. And you know what? When we do, I'll let you know everything that we're going to do. I'll make sure we document it very well, and you can be part of it. Thank you.
Okay, no, thank you. And congratulations, you've been in the news quite a lot.
I have. I enjoy every bit of it, too. All right.
We'll try to be quick. Is there a spot I need to sign in, or just state name?
Just state your name and address, Austin.
My name is Austin Banta, 2797 Woodward Street. Great work today, guys. Just had, I think, 2 questions, and if it was dealt with at the utility board meeting already, I'm sorry I couldn't make that one. With what's going on with the creation of the 2 new boards, the sanitation and the stormwater management, it seems like, at least from what I've read in the paper, eventually the goal, assuming all goes well, is to transfer the duties of the utility service board to each of those boards, depending on what's most appropriate for them. Last year, the city council gave I don't know if it was technically a raise or compensation, $5,000 of extra pay for the city council members based on their being the utility service board. I understand getting the pay as you guys are doing that. I'm just asking, is there any plan in the future to reduce that once the city council, or if the city council is no longer the utility service board?
Chris, you want to answer that?
What do you want me to? I can answer it. It's way too early. I can answer that. It's way too early to determine that. There's a whole lot of things.
Yeah, a lot of work to go, man.
I understand that. I'm just asking if that's on anybody's mind.
Made a great first step in reaching an agreed order in the mayor's lawsuit, and so we'll keep posted.
And I think, in fact, the ordinances require the council to continue to meet monthly, separate from their council meeting.
I understand.
So,
At the same time, I just want to make sure that that was something being, even if on the back of somebody's mind, as a citizen taxpayer, just want to keep in touch. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your comments, sir. I
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Mrs. Williams,
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good.
I'm
Please. Okay, good.
Williams, and I live at 1963 Jackson Street. And I plan to come to the city council meeting several times over the last few months, but something has always prevented me from coming. But tonight I want to address my feelings about the Portage Police Department. But before anybody holds their breath, Troy already knows, Chief Williams knows that I was going to come and talk about it. Back in February, they took a lot of heat because of the fact that they went over to Fegley School on the tip that there were 2 men with guns. And until they got there and found out about it, nobody knew what it was all about. And they took care of it. And as far as I'm concerned, I would rather have a proactive police department than to speculate whether the guns were real or not. And considering the fact that that was the day after Parkland, The other thing is, on April the 20th, a group of the students from the high school took it upon themselves to walk out in memory of Columbine. And when I saw the children still out there 2 hours after I went by, I knew that I had to stop and give 4 orange American flag pins to the children who led this. And I approached the officer who was standing there. I showed him my driver's license, and he asked me, who are you with? And I said, well, I'm not with anyone. And he said, but I can't let you approach them, but I will get somebody from the school, which he did. And he was very calm about the whole thing. And, you know, I don't know how long he'd been there, because this was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I know they had been out all day. And he said, please wait over there on the grass, and I will get someone. And he went and he got one of the teachers who came over, who knew what it was all about. I gave it to them, and he went back, handed it to the students. And as I started back to my car, the young man turned around and waved at me. And because of my generation, I was automatically, you know, flashed in the peace sign. And I went back over to the police officer and thanked him for standing there along with the other police. I have a granddaughter who goes to that school, and I get being a former teacher, I get very protective of the students. And the fact that they would not let anyone approach those children without knowing who they were, why they were there, they were very, very protective of the kids. And whoever that was, and whoever was out there, I definitely want, you know, to say thank you about it. And I really learned what it was like about that idea of brotherhood when my husband and I attended Jeff Gorski's funeral at St. Stan's. And it was so amazing that that was where I taught my last year. And so some of the people that I were there talked about how the city of Michigan City worked with them and literally stopped traffic, cordoned off the streets so they could give the respect for Jeff that should have been there. But back to the thing about the school. Later in the day, I was watching TV, and I'd never heard about they said there was never such a thing as red alerts or shooter drills until Columbine took place. And so we need to remember that, you know, despite the negative that's going on right now, that there are many positives, and also with the fire department and the other employees who are working their jobs. And in our bedroom, one of our bedrooms, there's a picture of an eagle in a raging rainstorm that has its head down, and it says, sometimes you have to bow your head, say a prayer, and weather the storm. And we have experienced, and we are going to continue to experience stormy weather in this city, but people who care about the city and who go about their jobs on a daily basis and are able to do what they need to do without any self-serving motives. This is their job. This is my job. And that's what they get up every morning. This is what Chief Pfeiffer and his people do. This is what Chief Williams and his people do. This is what all the other departments do. They get up every morning and say, this is my job. And as long as they are keeping doing that, any negative that comes about in our city has got to be changed in an attitude. And I believe that 2 people fall in a category: those that are known for talking and not doing much about their jobs, and those who get out and do their jobs. And so there's a quote that I came across. It was a man of action, a man of God, and his name was Bishop Fulton J. Sheen, and he said, the proud man counts his newspaper clippings, the humble man his blessings. So what we really need to do right now is count our blessings. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion and a second.
What was the motion?
All in favor, say aye. Aye.